my channel. Today I have a mid-March message for all of the Capricorns out in the collective. Please note this is going to be a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with every single Capricorn out in the collective. I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. Without further ado, Capricorn, let's go ahead and dive right into your mid-month message. So Capricorn, we are starting out with happy. A tall tale. Interesting. And watchers, transpersonal. Okay, so right off the bat, Capricorn, we're going to start off with the heart, the center of your reading, which is a tall tale. Now, this card truly represents denial. It's almost like a tall tale is about concealing the truth so that you can actually manipulate and control a situation. So I feel that at the center this month, what's transpiring is maybe there are some inconsistencies going on. Maybe there's a lot of fear-based communication going on, whether that be in your mind or from others. It could be that you're not allowing the fear of what other people think influence your words. And it's about learning to basically communicate from a place of authenticity. So I feel that ultimately, what this is ultimately saying right now here, Capricorn, is that I feel that you're needing to really tap into that authentic place that truly resonates with you. The important thing with the tall tale is that when you look at this very closely, okay, and let me get this to focus, but when you look at this very closely, this is an actual picture of Pinocchio sitting on a top hat. And we know that when Pinocchio tells a lie, his nose grows, right? And sometimes when we are not truthful with ourselves, things can get out of hand. They can get out of control. And I feel that what you're needing to really know here, Capricorn, is that you're needing to really be honest with yourself. You're needing to sit in a place of truth and honesty in regards to what is going on in your life and what is going on with you. The watchers in the transpersonal is really about being the observer. It's about witnessing what is going on around you. I want to point out here that the happy really comes from, it's in the past, right? So it really represents a state of bliss and excitement and passion and happiness. And it's really about being in control of our own happiness, recognizing that we have the power to control how we feel about certain things. And I feel that what they're really wanting you to be aware of is that if you're not being honest with yourself about how you truly feel about certain situations, certain projects, certain relationships, and you're not willing to see it from an observer perspective, then you really aren't going to be able to make the transformation or change the things that you ultimately want to change. So I want to go ahead and dive right into the tarot here, because I feel that ultimately as we are starting out, it's very like cutthroat almost, especially with the tall tale. But I mean, it's pretty simple. I find this also interesting too, because you have the happy is a 26, which is an 8. And then you have a tall tale, which is a 35, which is also an 8. 8s represent manifestation, and it represents our prosperity. When you also take an 8 and you put it sideways, it's the infinity symbol, right? Which often signifies to me that everything must come full circle. And sometimes we end up repeating the same mistakes, the same patterns over and over. And the thing is that if you're not happy with where your life is, if you're not being honest with yourself about that, if you're not communicating from a place of being authentic or witnessing, observing how your actions or non-actions are actually transpiring, then this is what you're needing to be aware of. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here to see what additional information Spirit can give you this month. Okay, so right off the bat, we have the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles, this is in reverse. So the Five of Pentacles is a test of our resources. It's about, I look at it a lot as being in a place of being the victim, right? Like, if you're constantly looking at all situations and all things in your life from a place of, you know, well, poor, pitiful me, why does this always happen to me? Like, if that is the story that you continue to tell, then that is the story you will continue to see. And it's important that you recognize here with this Five of Pentacles that you can either continue on that path. You can continue to be very narrow-minded and not observe what is around you and how you can get yourself out of this situation. Then you're not going to be able to fulfill any kind of happiness or joy or wish that you ultimately desire. Understand that your thoughts, your perceptions, how you view things, truly create what goes on in your day-to-day, and it creates whether it works in your favor or not. You now have the Three of Cups here. Now, but this is in reversed. So maybe you feel very unappreciated here, Capricorn. Maybe you feel like you're all alone. And you feel like no one really cares about your circumstance or your situation, and you feel very wounded by this. And this could be the reason why you're not being authentic, why you're not being completely honest with yourself, because you're not recognizing that you're part of the problem, right? It's interesting because now you have the 2 8s here, and here you have 2 3s, right? And 3s are about creation. They're about creativity, and it's about the balance of the mind, the body, and the spirit here. So I feel that right now with this tall tale, if you're not being authentic, like if you're lying to yourself or you're not really communicating to yourself what's really going on or how you're really feeling about things, then you're not really going to get very far here, Capricorn. So I think that this is ultimately the most interesting thing here. Now you have the Six of Cups with the King of Pentacles. So the Six of Cups is about, you know, bringing up a lot of things. It's about from the past, right? So we could often reflect on all of our past experiences and how those past experiences influenced us, how they helped us grow into who we are. Or we could look at it from the perspective of, well, this is why I am the way that I am. So again, it's all about how you perceive things. What's your perception of what's actually going on in your life? So I think this is important. I also want to point out that with the Five of Pentacles in reversed here, it really needs you to examine your values. It's important that you examine your values and ask yourself, are you in alignment with those values? Do you believe in those values? Because a lot of times when the Five of Pentacles is in reverse, it often signifies to me that you feel that you're lacking in some way, that you're missing out on something, that you're not actually getting what you want. And sometimes that can really push us to be in a very victim or a martyr state, right? So it's important that you recognize that. It's also important that you recognize that when you have a specific desire, right? When you come from a place, so here's the difference. With the happy here, you have the Five of Pentacles, which is a sad card, right? It's a card of not feeling like you're being loved or nurtured, supported, that you feel like you're lacking in some way. And then you have the Nine of Cups. Well, the Cups actually speaks about emotions, and it's a cup of a wish. It's basically the wish fulfillment card where you're happy and you're joyful. So you ultimately have a choice here. Happy is determined based off of your choices. You get to choose how you respond to any situation in your life. Okay. Now, with the Three of Cups in reversed, okay, the Three of Cups in reversed is really looking at things from an overindulgent perspective. Sometimes you can overindulge, or you can react instead of respond in certain ways. It could be that there's not enough understanding in what you're feeling here. Maybe there's a lot of, things going on in your mind that makes you feel very clouded, or makes you feel like you're not experiencing the kind of tale or the kind of life that you would ultimately like to have here. But again, it's about learning to live in the place of authenticity. So let's dive a little bit deeper here, Capricorn. So I feel that I think this is very interesting, because it's really signifying to me here, Capricorn, that you ultimately, at where you are at right now, as you watch this, you're ultimately needing to make a choice. The King of Pentacles really speaks about making the most out of what you have. And again, it's how you respond or how you react. You could respond in a way that is enlightening, and you can, sit from a place of the observer, where you can not be attached to it emotionally, but you can see it for what it is, and recognize that there's more to the story. There's more than looking at it from one perspective. It's almost like needing to climb atop of a tower to see the entire landscape, instead of just seeing it from one vantage point. Okay. And I feel that that's important for you here, especially since I feel like a lot of this has to do with your mentality, like the things that you think about. Maybe you're not being honest that your thoughts have more control over you than you have over them, right? And maybe this is where you often tend to fall into the role of a victim. And this is what you're needing to ultimately work on, right? And sometimes that can be a little bit of a challenge, especially when you're so used to accommodating the wishes or accommodating everyone else. Like if you're just trying to fit in, or you're just trying to build a life based off of everyone else's approval and not your own, then this really isn't going to work for you. Like, that is the message, plain and simple here. So moving on, we have the Knight of Cups with awakening, the Nine of Cups again right here, and the Eight of Cups with the King of Pentacles again, and the Strength card. Okay, so the Knight of Cups really speaks about basically a proposal, right? It speaks about you proposing to yourself. Are you willing to give yourself the love and the attention that you need in order to become more aware of what it is you need to let go of, so that you can come more into alignment with the life that you are ultimately desiring, right? The Knight of Cups really speaks about, most people identify it as a love offering. But when I look at a Knight of Cups, especially in this perspective, it's really about being open to truth and understanding of how you are actually feeling, right? Because it's really about not judging yourself, right? Because when you fall into a role of a victim here, Capricorn, you're judging yourself. And a lot of times it's really hard for you to see the bigger picture when you're in that space of poor, pitiful me, right? Awakening is basically the Judgment card. And awakening is really about stepping outside of the traditional, stepping outside of the box and allowing yourself to see things from a higher vantage point, being willing to sort of answer to a higher calling. And it's really about becoming more enlightened. The Nine of Cups with the Eight of Cups. This is pretty simple here. With a tall tale, its true message is about you being more authentic, you being truthful and honest with yourself. With the Nine of Cups, again, being a wish fulfillment under the Three of Cups, it's really about you have an inner desire and an inner need to be appreciated, to be valued, and to be a part of a team that feels supported, right? But I feel that what you're needing to really walk away from here with this Eight of Cups is you're needing to walk away from all of the things that are painful and hurtful to you. And I think a lot of it has to do with how you talk to yourself and how you are judgmental and critical of yourself here, Capricorn. And this is something that you're needing to really walk away from. Next, we have the King of Pentacles with the Strength card. Again, the King of Pentacles is basically, making the most out of what you have. And it's really walking into this new life that is full of abundance and prosperity. Again, you have the 2 8s up here, which I feel that your team is really wanting you to be aware of, that if you don't change, then ultimately what you're going to be creating is more of the same, more of what you're experiencing. And in order for you to walk this bridge and sort of transition into a newer life that is full of more growth, more expansion and more prosperity, you have to be willing to see deep within yourself and know that you can overcome any challenge that you face. The Strength card is about being brave, and it's about being courageous, and it's about knowing that strength isn't viewed on the outside, it is viewed on the inside. And it's about you recognizing how powerful and full of strength you really are. So Capricorn, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.